The clock.
Hurricane specialist Max Mayfield and our chief certified meteorologist Betty Davis. Betty, begin with you.
Good evening. The headline tonight, Irma is making landfall along that north coast of Cuba. So that is occurring as we speak. Cuba still being battered, by the way. Here are the latest stats. Maximum sustained winds at 160 miles per hour. Pressure at 924 millibars. It's moving west at 13 miles per hour, and the center of circulation is now 300 miles south-southeast of Miami, Florida. I do want to show you the projected path and let you know that based on this projected path, it looks as though it is still forecast to come in close to the Florida Keys as we're moving through early Sunday as a Category 4 now. Remember, in the last advisory, the intensity was Cat 5, so that has now been lowered to Category 4. Thereafter, it continues its movement toward the north, perhaps sticking closer to that west side of the peninsula, but certainly some impacts being felt for most of Florida, certainly all of the Florida peninsula before those remnants wind up over the Tennessee Valley. Let's bring in our hurricane specialist, Max Mayfield. Now you've had a chance to glance at least at the advisory. What's sticking out?
Well, it is moving along those keys just off the north coast of Cuba. You would think that interaction with land would have weakened it a little bit, and it didn't. It's just amazing that it is even stronger. But the forecast is for it to interact enough with Cuba to weaken down. I mean, I don't even want to say the word weaken to this. It's going to be a Category 4 hurricane, likely, but that's still a very, very powerful hurricane. By the way, that upgrade was based on the Air Force plane that went down there earlier this, well, it got in there earlier, and it had that 168 miles per hour. That was the maximum flight level wind at about 8,000 or 9,000 feet there. And it's just amazing to me. And now the eye is so close to those keys or over those keys that it can't really fly in the eyes. It's kind of doing what they call shore patrol. I called the Hurricane Center to see what they're going to do there. They can't fly over land there, but anyway, they've got enough. Luckily, they got that wind before it got over land there. So, you know, the track is you know, pretty consistent there. The lower Florida Keys, the southwest Florida coast. Just remember that, and we've said this, I know you may be getting tired of me saying it, but the impacts, the winds and the storm surge can extend beyond the cone. And so those warnings are going to stay in place as it moves up, and it really hasn't, you know, shifted much at all there. I mean, that's pretty close to what we had before. All the models continue to show that northward turn, but the timing is not certain, and if it stays, if it continues to get involved with land there, it may weaken some more tonight.
It's going to be an interesting evening to really see how this plays out in terms of that involvement with land. But right now we can tell you parts of Cuba getting crushed pretty hard by Hurricane Irma.
They are, and we've told Hatzel Vela to be extremely careful and make sure that he finds a safe place where he is. He doesn't want to be in that eye wall outside.
Right. Lori and Calvin?
Max and Betty, thanks so much for the latest.